Hello, it's John, Vintage Fisherman. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things after being gone from the workbench here for well over a week. I been traveling, and unfortunately, it wasn't for fishing. Well, fortunately, it was a good thing. My oldest son got married. It's the first of my three children to get married, so I was real proud of that, and I enjoyed seeing the ceremony and being there for him. And I did witness some fishing. I was in I was in Jupiter, Florida, and I went down to Juno Beach Pier and I watched the people down there fishing. I almost rented some gear. They were plugging for Spanish and jack, and they were sight casting for barracuda, and they were fishing for whatever they catch, really. But there was some fish in there and some fish being caught. They caught a few Spanish while I was there. But today I'm gonna work on it's a Pflueger Rocket 1355. I purchased this at auction. It's a little rough, but I think it's going to make a really nice reel. Everything's there. It's just a little bit bent and beat, but I think it's going to fix up really nice. And let's just take it apart and see what we got. This reel doesn't appear to be fished with a whole heck of a lot. Just saying. Kind of cold here in Virginia again. I have not been fishing in almost a month now. I'm starting to get withdrawals. I do believe the bass will come on pretty strong pretty soon. I feel like it's just we're just getting really close to, and I'm sure they are catching bass some places around here, but I have not been out. I haven't been on the creeks. I will try to get out on the creeks this weekend, though I have a busy weekend ahead of me that does not exactly include fishing. Just one of those things. So let's take this thing apart. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's the wrong one. A little out of practice here. We'll see how it goes. It was so nice in Florida, and it was in the 80s, and come back to Roanoke, or where I live, Virginia, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it was in the 50s. It's still just cold here. We might get a day or two that we'll get in the 60s and 70s. We've had maybe one 80-degree day so far this year, but generally we're just staying in the upper 50s, lower 60s most days, and so therefore we're not really seeing a big warm up in the creeks. We need one of those good old warm, thunderstorms to heat things up for us. So this reel is going to clean up pretty good, I believe, unless it's got some mechanical issues. Because I'm not real familiar with these reels. I have no idea how old this reel is. If anybody out there can date it, I'm always looking for that information. So send it to me. But leave it in the comments. I will have some fishing content coming up, I promise. Life's really busy for me right now. I'm in the process of downsizing. So I'm spending a lot of weekends just working. I'm also getting my house ready to sell. So I'm spending a lot of weekends getting my house ready to hit the market. And for that alone, it's just kind of, I'm not really getting a lot done down here in the workshop or out on the water where I need to be. So what I need to do is work less and play more for the next month or two while the water is just right for fishing. And then we'll go from there with everything else. So there's the inside of the front cover. You've got this guy here, this eccentric, works at anti-reverse. Isn't that neat? So this reel does have an anti-reverse. I don't think it has a free spool. This is also this is a brake, so you would. I don't want to turn. Let's see what's going on with that. Huh, interesting. Somebody has cranked that bad boy all the way in there. Let's see if we can't get it straightened out. There we go. That comes apart. There is a spring in there, and that thing is getting ready to pop. And if when it does, I'm going to end up losing it. So I'm going to try to get it out of there before it disappears on me. It looks like that slides out of there. Let me try to give it just a light tap with a non-marring hammer, but no, I don't think it comes out. This is my first time having one of these parts, so bear with me. Okay, it screws out. Oh, well, that makes sense. We'll screw it out of there. All right, there we go. So I don't think the rest of this, other than this is a spare pawl right here. And it's still in there. It looks to be in good shape. I believe that's it. Yeah, I believe that's it. We'll clean that up good. Let's see what we got over here. I think we can probably take the level line off now. Let's try to get that loose. You got 4 little tiny screws, 2 on each side. This should just slide right out. And then you've got the pawl, or yeah, that's what it is down under here. I'll pull that out if I can get a hold of it. There it comes. It's pretty nasty, but it's not wore out. Let's see here. This end here has to come apart. Take that screw out. Well, that's turning the whole thing. Or no, it isn't. Okay, here we go. That comes out. That should, there we go, pull out the other side. That comes off. I don't see any shims or anything. This is going to clean up so nice. This can come out. And that's the whole level line. That's going to clean up really pretty. Dirtiest thing on a reel ever. I always talk about that, but it's the truth. All right, here is your drive. You've got a spring washer, spacer. You got a anti-reverse, and it goes in just like I took it out. And you've got a drag. It looks like a drag washer. It is a drag washer because it does have a star drag. I think this reel's got everything but a free spool. I don't think it has a free spool. Could be wrong. That'll go like that. Like that, didn't it? Yeah. That recessed area of that gear goes down towards this. So, all right. Let's pull that whole plate off of there. That will come off. You got to take the retaining screw out of the end of this. I think that's how it goes. Yep. So you can take that off, clean that shaft really good. That don't act like it wants to come off of there for some reason. Guess some messed up threads or something on it. Don't know. They don't act right. I don't like that. Acts like it's cross-threading, but I'm not doing anything to it to cause it. I'm unscrewing it, not screwing it in, so I don't know why it's cross-threading. And that screwdriver is not going to fit, and I can't quite get enough power off this little screwdriver. Hopefully this thing isn't twisting off or something crazy. Oh, well, this just doesn't act right at all. Doesn't act right at all. Well, I can't mess it up any more than I already have now. Let's try to get it out of there. Alright, got that. Don't know why those threads are so messed up. That comes off. And that's the whole entire thing. Now, spool comes out. Pinion gear comes off the spool. That's pretty much it for the spool. Spool does have a bait clicker. Let's take the tension knob off the spool side, off the palm plate side. That's that. Bait clicker seems to be stuck. It is. Might have to work on that a little bit. We can go ahead and take these plates off this side. This plate, not these plates. So the bars will come off. That's the level line bar, the guide. May not be worth it. May have to leave those two on there. They don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to take a chance on them. We'll leave those on there. Not going to hurt anything. There it is. There's a whole reel. I'll clean it up and come back to you. A lot of parts in it will be real. Yeah, you can see where they had the spool, the anti-backlash brake turned all the way in on. Just rubbing the spool. Don't think that was necessary. But anyway, I'll be back when I get it cleaned up. Well, I'm back with this old Pflueger Rocket. It is the Rocket 1355. And I'm just going to wing it because I didn't get a chance to go back and watch the first half of the video, see how it goes back together. So here we go. It's all sopping wet with WD-40. I just got it all out of the cleaner. The whole table's wet, so it's just a big mess. We're going to try to get this thing back together correctly. See what happens. I know that this goes on there. That's going to get some oil. There was a screw that came out of the end that was very hard to remove. We'll see if we can't get that in there without cross-threading it or anything. It was very difficult. Hopefully it won't be as hard to get back in there. And it's not. It's going in pretty well. Not sure why it was so hard to get out. There we go. Well, no, maybe not. No, it's still got a ways to go. Now, there we go. Now, I believe it had drag washer. And the gear went on like that. And it had another drag washer. And then a keyed washer. And then it had believe, yeah, it had this on there, and it has to go. So it would have to go like that. I believe I got that right. It looks right. We'll see. Then it got sleeve, and then it had this spring. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. We'll put the tension knob on there loosely. Then it got the spare level line pawl went in there. And it got this, it's a cast control. Went in like that. There was a spring that went in there. Like that. This, that's a little bit dirty yet. Let me get a clean Q-tip and clean some of that crud out of it. I didn't have my air compressor to use, so I can't get the stuff as clean as I want to. My air compressor is upstairs putting wood flooring in my house. So I'm not carrying it up and down. We're just going to wing it. That's another reason why I haven't been doing as many videos. I don't have all my equipment down here, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. Then it took this screw, I believe, went in right there. Let's try it and see. Yes. I'll hold that and tighten that. That basically just holds that spring in there. And you adjust this up and down to put more or less spring tension on the spool. Okay? I believe that's all of this side of this unit. Let me get some grease in here. And everything should fall back into place. We'll see. Okay, that is to keep this from over traveling. I need to put that about right there so that peg can rest in between those two. Okay, we'll deal with that in just a minute. I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's put this bad boy back together. This was a really dirty old reel. Whoever had it really used it, and that's good. That's what they're made for. This gets a tension knob in it. Wrong one. This one, John. That one needs to be filled full of oil. It's got a felt washer in there. Anytime you see a felt washer, give it a good dose of oil before you put it together. I'm not going to tighten it up. We'll center the spool later. Okay, you had another bar up here that's keyed. It won't go but one way. It's the only upper bar, only bar I took off of it. We'll put that back on there. Just a little dab of grease on that screw. Like I said, it's keyed. It won't go but one way. right, oops. All right, I think what I have to do here, well, I know this goes on right there. And that really needs some oil on it. Everything's just kind of crunchy on this reel. I can see why. It's full of dirt. Like I said, without my air compressor to blow all these little parts out, I'm kind of at a disadvantage of getting anything real clean down here. All right, I'm going to rethink how I did this, because I think when I took it apart, I will take that off of there. I'm going to reset that where I want it. This is going to go ahead and go on just like that. It's going to mess with me today. There we go. That's on there. That's on there. Now, I've already greased those screw holes. This can go ahead and go on. It's going to go like that, because the only thing left to do is to build the level line. I think we're going to go ahead and put these screws in there. We're going to give it our best shot here. Not a real complicated reel, folks. I just did not go back and watch it today. Didn't have time. It's been a busy day at work. Seems awful tight. It's going though. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put the drag, star drag on there. And it goes in like this. I'm not going to put the handle on yet. Just going to put the star drag. Well, that ain't going to work. Star drag don't want to spin on for whatever reason. I'm out of frame, aren't I? I'm working on getting some more reels in. I just haven't found any deals lately. Or if I do find something, it's something I've already done, like ambassadors. I buy every left-hand ambassador I see. And that's something I've done a bunch of, and you know, it's not really helping y'all out any if you see me do the same dang things all the time. So I'm trying to branch out just a little bit. That just doesn't want to behave for some reason. Not really any way to get a hold of it either. It's kind of a bad situation there. There we go. All right, I believe that's got it. Okay. Okay. So that's why you call it a knuckle buster. It's not really, there's a free spool on it, but the handle turns with it. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to try to center this spool up a little bit. Okay. This is your cast control. You tighten that in, it slows your cast down. This is your anti-reverse. That's where you would fight a fish. Now it's time to build the level line. Alright, this gear went on just like that. Still a little bit of dirt in that gear. Man, I miss my air compressor. I have to get my floors done so I can get it back down here. I do have another small one, but it's in my it's in another part of the house. Might bring it down, who knows. This level line was really full of crud, and like I said, without my air compressor I couldn't blow it out good. And not real happy with the results here. I'm particular when it comes to dirt. Alright, so this will ride in there, and this goes through that. Okay, and then you got a bushing that threads in over here. I'll put a little bit of grease in there. This bushing threads in right there, and it kind of gets everything happy. And this bushing goes in on this end. I need to probably put a little bit of oil on that. Come on back out. Alright, there we go. Let's oil it. Got some new oil here I'm going to try on some of my reels I cast a lot with. It's from Dad's Old Tackle. It's a synthetic reel oil. We'll try it and see if we like it. Can't hurt nothing. I've got a special blend of oils that I use for this. It's not Trinity oil either. This is a special blend of different oils. Lightweight oils. Alright, we got that back in there. Now, your little pawl goes in there. And to seat it, you got to give this thing a spin, and it will seat itself, and then everything else comes apart. This little guy here, get some grease on that, get some oil on this, get some oil on this. This guy here goes on there and gets a screw in it. This retains the pawl in there. You get this one screw, it's different from those other four, and it will go on there. Now this whole unit goes into this reel. It comes apart as a unit, and I put it together wrong. Hang on, hold everything. Gotta take it back apart. I got the level line on the wrong side here. Pay attention. Pay attention. Alright, let's take this off and flip it around just like that. And it will go up in there. Okay, this is fun. Not sure why that thing doesn't want to move any smooth. Oh, I know why it is. It's not centered up in here. So when this little, gosh, come on, John. Oh gosh. Okay. My hands have gotten oily now, and it's just kind of a real pain. This has to go on there to keep everything in line. Now that will slide back and forth smoothly. Okay. We just got to put the level line dog on there, paw, whatever you want to call it. Then this will go back on, and the screw will go back in there. All right, now, now the whole thing can go back in there. A couple things you got to remember here. This goes into the inside, so you got to have everything completely together, and it's not. And then, so you get that started up in there. I might even have to loosen the screws a little bit. Yep. Golly, you kidding me, right? Nope, not kidding. All right, let's take these screws loose a little bit. See what I'm doing here? I got to create a little bit of space. This has to slide up in there, just like that. And that has to go into that groove, just like, kind of like that. I missed the groove. All right. I believe this reel is just about done, folks. Pretty neat old Knuckle Buster. I never fished with one of these. Maybe I just need to go out and do a real vintage fishing. AKA watch me backlash this bad boy. I don't know. It probably wouldn't cast very far unless you had like a 3/8 ounce, you know, spinnerbait or something on there. It probably would be hard to cast. Maybe a Texas rig or Carolina rig or something. I don't know if I'd want to fish too deep with this reel. With the low gear ratio it probably has. We'll try to figure the gear ratio out here in just a second. Yeah, that's going to be tough to get my fingers up in there. Small little screws in this bad boy. But I had to loosen the bar screws up and the stand screws up to get that piece to slide up in there. When you first look at this, you think that's all one piece, but it's actually two pieces. All right, let's a lot smoother than it was when I took it apart, folks. Then your handle goes on. The handle's just slightly bent, but it's not bent enough to make me want to fight that battle. It's just got a slight bend right there, and I think I'm going to leave well enough alone on that one. All right. Just wiping it down, getting all the extra WD-40 off of it. Listen to that. You can't cast in an anti-reverse, obviously. Look how smooth it is. Let's throw it in the free spool. Breaks off. I believe it would cast pretty far. The big problem with these things is you got to load a line on there. You know, it's a that spool would be the size of a squitter spool, a pin squitter. There's a lot of line on there. So the cool thing to do would be to make some cork. Take a cork rod handle and make a spacer go in there, 2 pieces, and then wrap it with some tape, and then just have, you know, the upper, maybe put 120, 150 yards of 12 on there, and it probably casts pretty dang good. I'm pretty happy with it. Went strictly by memory. It's been a couple of days since I tore it down, so life's been really busy. There it is. A Pflueger Rocket. Model 1355. Made in USA. Pfluegers were made in Akron, Ohio. Correct me if I'm wrong. These have a Oiler Oiler ports on it. Right there's an Oiler port. Yeah, right there. You spin it around. Same up here. It's got an Oiler port. Of course, you can oil these knobs. You can spin that around and oil it. Give all this a good coat of oil. There it is. Man, I really am happy with that. That's a spectacular little reel. It's not in bad shape, not a lot of corrosion, just a little bit here and there. It's going to shine like new money sitting on my shelf with my other Knuckle Busters I'm collecting. Well, thanks for watching. This is John, Vintage Fisherman. Please like and subscribe. Come on back. I'll have something more going on this weekend. Talk to you later.